Hello, Lou Engle here, giving you a report of what took place in 2024 and the vision that we're entering into in 2025. This has been one of the most remarkable years of my own life ministry, Lou Engle Ministries. I want to thank all of you who have supported us in the funding of the movements of prayer that have gone around the world, around America, touched Israel, and I believe that the prayer involvement has never been so intense and high during this year. I am so grateful for you. When we look back at 2024, this was a year of mobilizing 250,000 to 300,000 women in America to gather on the Mall on October 12th. I believe it was the most significant solemn assembly of maybe the 28 assemblies that we have done. Cheon, 24 years ago, helped me mobilize the first Call DC, and I felt that this was the fulfillment, this gathering 24 years later, the fulfillment of the dream that I had in 1999 to turn America back to God. I actually believe that solemn assembly shifted elections. I could tell you stories about it. Shifted elections and opened a door, I believe, for the third great awakening, that even now we're hearing reports that God is on the move. Maybe America is turning back to God. We look back to the 222 conference we hold every year. Historic conferences. I'll never forget that gathering. Women shared with the vision of mobilizing the Esther gathering on the Mall. Extraordinary messages. I'll never forget when Dutch Sheets led us in the final gathering and travail broke out for several hours. That was moving, I believe, opened the door to the next part of that year, leading to the solemn assembly, October 12th and the Day of Atonement. On April 13th, we joined and mobilized with Don't Mess With Our Kids with Jenny Donnelly. 50 states, women gathered, taking a stand for our children. Don't mess with our kids. And now that movement is going forward this next year, and we're excited about it. 1 million women is actually going forth after this assembly on October 12th. We're mobilizing it into the nations of the earth. We're in a day of massive movement in Lou Engle Ministries for such a time as this. I look back to several things that took place where literally we held communion gatherings in New Jersey, in New York City, and in New Hampshire. I believe those great communion gatherings were so significant for the preparation to go to the Mall in DC. I think the 40-day fast, September 1st through the 9th of October, before the gathering, October 12th, was one of the most significant, preparing ourselves, gaining a place of authority. And I believe that fast was one of the most significant 40-day fasts I've ever been on. And many of you joined us in that season of fasting. We're so grateful. One of the great, huge things that took place, even 3 months out from the gathering, we had no money. In a 5-day period, partnering with an organization, International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, and a major family donor, loosed $2 million in 5 days. A miracle took place. And I believe that God Himself moved because His heart for Israel. We prayed on that day, an hour and a half for Israel. I don't know if it's ever been done. I know in our movements we've never done it, but we believe it's actually catalyzing a vision in 2025 that we begin to have a prayer wall on the Wailing Wall, the Western Wall in Jerusalem. A big dream that that is now being conceived. We did a prayer strike for 21 days before the DC, partnering with David Kim and Contend. Many movements of prayer were taking place before the great gathering. The Prayer Networks of America joined 2 days before that gathering. This was a culmination, I believe, a breakthrough for that solemn assembly. We believe that 2025 could be just as significant. We're launching a 21-day fast. Major apostolic networks, January 1st through the 20th, when President Trump is inaugurated. On those 21 days, we're calling for massive prayer, a Daniel fast, believing and praying that God will help President Trump and his cabinet to see this thing through, to actually bring a reformation in government so that with revival we can see this nation turn back. Those 21 days, we want to invite you into this day, 21 days, the 1st of January to the 21st of January, praying a Daniel fast for the shifting of government. Then we're holding once again the 222 conference, and I believe this once again will be very significant as we birth a 40-day fast right after that 222 conference, March 1st through April 9th, the anniversary of Azusa. And we're calling for a movement of prayer, fasting for revival. The dreams that I've had, in yet 40 days, I'll send the rain. We believe that what took place there on the mall actually released a new day of hope, even in the dream I had, where that massive gathering was chanting, revival, revival, revival. I'm looking to spend 40 days myself, going up into Reading to fast and pray, and go up to the place where I dreamed that the great communion revival will break out and the river of the sacrament will be poured out. Then after that gathering, we're looking to hold a gathering possibly at Bethel at that time. And then on Pentecost, going to Louisville for the great communion revival in Louisville, where there in Kentucky was so extraordinary. The second great awakening took place at a great communion gathering. We believe that Louisville will be critical for the bringing together of black and white to come to the table for a great movement of the healing of the races. We're looking to hold communion revivals in the reservations, native reservations. These are the dreams that we're carrying forward. As I've said, we're looking to step toward Israel, the building of the vision of a prayer wall there, people praying, calling 1 million women to the wall, taking pilgrimages, praying for the salvation of Israel, and praying that God, against anti-Semitism, and praying, come quickly, Lord Jesus, Maranatha. We believe this year is a year for great strides and breakthroughs. Thank you for joining us as I've shared this vision. Would you help now, once again, fund, maybe even like we have never before, to press forward these great initiatives for the turning of America, for the shifting of the nations, and for Israel? Would you help us fund Lou Engle Ministries and join in our prayer movements that together we can make history with God for such a time as this? Thank you so much for joining us.